Hello and welcome to another revision video from me, this tutor, and this time I'm going to talk you through the 1905 to 1918 First World War topic for the Edexcel iGCSE history exam, and we're going to start off by talking about the alliance system and how these great powers had ambitions for war. Firstly then, let's find out about the alliance system. Now, alliance system is divided into two sets of alliances. On one side we had the Central Powers, who we call the Alliance Group, and on the other side we have the Entente Group, which is more France, Russia and Britain. So let's find out about the alliance system first. This is firstly made up of the dual alliance, which is Germany and Austria, and they signed their alliance in 1879. It's a military alliance, and they agree to protect one another if they're invaded. Then in 1882, it becomes a triple alliance as Italy joins, and they all agree to protect each other. So if they're attacked by two other countries, the three of them will band together and help one another. So what's the Entente then? The Entente is based on the 1892 Franco-Russian alliance, firstly. So if one country is invaded, the other country would come and help. Now, this is primarily aimed at surrounding Germany. So Germany, therefore, becomes encircled. We then, in 1904, get the Entente Cordiale. This was a friendly understanding between Britain and France. Britain wanted friendship to solve some of the arguments they were having with France, particularly over places like Egypt and their empire building. Germany was looking to threaten their empire building, so they were going to club together against German aggression. In 1907, the Triple Entente formed. Britain and Russia solved some of their arguments over land, in particular Afghanistan, north of India, where Russia was expanding into, and Britain felt that Russia could be a threat to their Indian empire. Also, it was important that Britain, who was friends with France, became friends with Russia as well. Now, there is also one other important alliance in Europe. That's Britain having an alliance with Belgium called the Treaty of London, and Britain would protect Belgium if they were attacked by a big aggressive country. Also in the East, Britain has an alliance with Japan. So that means in this war, the First World War, Japan will actually be on Britain's side. Many students think that Japan is on Germany's side because they get a little bit confused with the Second World War. So who were the Central Powers then? So Germany, before 1870, was not really a country. It was a collection of small states, particularly dominated by Prussia and Austria. And then in 1870, Prussia went to war with France with the help of some of the other German states and won a war. And then those countries clubbed together to make Germany. The Prussian king became the emperor, known as the Kaiser, and he controlled this Germany, and he had a very large and probably the most powerful army in the world. So what are some of the key things to know about Germany at this time? Well, Germany was worried by the French encirclement, of course, and they're worried that France wanted revenge for the War of 1870, and they were right to be worried about it. Germany was rapidly industrialising, and by 1913 was producing more steel and more chemicals than Britain. It was becoming a major industrial power. However, Germany had a very small empire. Germany had missed out on the carving up of Africa and other places because Germany didn't exist before 1870. So the Kaiser wanted a more empire, and he started to push for it. He wanted what was called his place in the sun. He wanted a world policy and empire. More of that in the Kaiser's foreign policy videos. Germany was also industrialised and a growing working class who wanted more rights and more say in running the country. And the Kaiser wished to distract them with an aggressive foreign policy. So what about their main partner, Austria-Hungary? This was an empire that was sort of a sick man of Europe. It was slowly falling apart. Had many different nationalities, and nationalism was becoming a real problem. So as it says, they had 15 different languages at least in that country. Austria was also ruled by an ageing Emperor, Franz Joseph, who still liked to cling to quite autocratic, strong control against lots and lots of different groups who wanted freedom. In particular, some of the problems they faced was Czech nationalism in the north and Balkan nationalism in the south. And by 1914, Serbia had become a very powerful country in the south, the Balkan areas, and they wanted to unite the Serbian people who were in Austria-Hungary and in Bosnia with their own Serb nation. And Russia, who considered themselves the father of the Slavs and the protector of the Serbs, encouraged the Serbs to take land from Austria-Hungary. Finally, in the Central Powers, we have Italy. And they were not really a great power yet, but they were keen to be a great power. And they wanted to develop their colonial empire, particularly in northeast Africa. Italy, again, was a relatively new nation, having formed from a group of separate states. It was only formed in 1861. Some key things to know about Italy and their aspirations. Italy was not really a developed power yet in terms of its industry. It didn't really have a strong military, which meant that Germany and Austria-Hungary did not trust them to be a strong alliance partner. Italian nationalists did not support the alliance with Austria-Hungary either, because Austria-Hungary was on its border, and many lands with Italian people living in it, like Fiume. Actually, it made sense for the Italians to want to go to war with Austria for some of the nationalists so they could claim back this land. So who were the Entente? Well, first we have Great Britain, and they had a lot to protect and particularly felt threatened by Germany. Britain was the first country in the world to have an industrial revolution, was the wealthiest country in the world, and Germany was beginning to threaten that. Some of the key facts about Britain and other reasons why they might have felt a little bit threatened. So Britain was the largest empire in the world with over 400 million peoples. Britain had the largest navy in the world with over 120 battleships to protect its empire. And Britain was led by a democratic parliament with a monarch. Now, as you'll find out in the Kaiser foreign policy, as he develops his Weltpolitik and naval race, some of these things come under threat and tension develops with Germany. So what about France? France had been defeated by Germany in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870, and they wanted revenge. They had an idea of revangism. France was a relatively Welsh nation that was respected for its science, art, and technology. It was quite an advanced culture. So what about some of the key information about France to consider here? So France wanted to reclaim the land lost to Germany in 1870, Alsace-Lorraine, which bordered Germany. So France signed a military alliance with Russia against Germany. This was tactically important. They wanted to surround and encircle Germany. And France did have a large empire as well. They wanted to protect this against German aggression. Germany, as we said, doesn't have much empire, so it's going out in the world, being aggressive, trying to take people's empires. And finally, we have Russia, which was by far the largest country in Europe, and possibly the largest in the world, with a large population of over 160 million people. Russia was ruled by an autocratic Tsarist system, and the people wanted more freedom and democratic rights. Also, Russia had a backward economy and had only recently started to industrialise, so politically and economically it was a bit weaker than Britain and France, and possibly more unstable. Some other key facts about Russia. So Russia's weakness had been shown in a defeat in a war to Japan in 1904-1905 over Manchuria in the east. This meant that Russia stopped expanding eastwards and started to expand again in Europe, looking for the Balkans and other places to expand into. So Russian foreign policy turns its eyes towards Serbia. Also in 1905 saw an attempted revolution against the Russian leader. This showed Tsar Nicholas II was vulnerable to revolution. Perhaps there were some political weaknesses there. And after the defeat in 1905 to Japan, Russia's improving its military a lot. Huge amounts of money spent on much more modern equipment. And Germany is worried about this potential threat and feels it has to deal with Russia sooner rather than later if they are going to go to war. Cool, I hope you found that useful, and if you did, then obviously have a look at my revision guides. There's loads more help in them, lots more talk-through videos and also tutoring videos to help you learn how to answer their specific questions for your exam. Also, take a look at the playlist on my YouTube channel, huge amounts of help there as well. So, hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.